The ancient Chinese philosopher Confucius said, "Find a job you love and you'll never work a day in your life." My father, Carlos Bast, was fortunate enough to be able to incorporate one of his passions into his career. Dad had a passion for anything with wheels, particularly if it had an engine that would go fast. That included cars, trains, and trucks. And that engine is a Super Chief, and it is part of what I inherited from my dad when he passed away. My dad worked several jobs as a young man in Madison, Wisconsin. He drove delivery for several companies in the area, including AJ Sweets, which is a wholesale produce company, and Culligan Water. Later, after he retired, he decided to go back into the workforce, at which time he began driving over the road for Burlington Motor Carriers. Dad also worked as a mechanic. He started in our driveway, working on our car, and maybe a neighbor's car or a friend's car, if they needed something done and couldn't afford a garage mechanic. Over time, he became so in demand as being an honest mechanic who charged a fair price that he opened up his own shop called Chief's Auto. Unfortunately, Dad was a really good man, and he would work with people based on what they said they could afford to pay. And he would even take unusual forms of pay, like maybe $5 in an apple pie for an oil change, or a couple days of lawn care. Dad was in the military. Before I was born, he was active Army, and he was stationed in Libya. There was a picture that I'd seen as a kid that I never asked my dad about because he never talked about his military service. But it always made me curious. It was him next to a wrecked truck in the middle of the desert. After he passed away, his brother told me that while driving supply transport over a road he had driven over 100 times before, he ran over an explosive device with his truck. Fortunately, Dad was hauling a full water tanker that day. It absorbed the impact, and he received only minor cuts and bruises. Later, Dad joined the reserves when I was 8 or 9 years old. He started in the Corps of Engineers, which most people think of as building bridges and runways, but Dad was their mechanic. He made all the things run so they could do bridges and runways. Later on, towards the end of his military career completely, my dad decided to go for a complete change. He saw the writing on the wall. He knew that we were going to go to war in the Middle East. Because he had knowledge of the culture and could still speak the language, he requested to be transferred to the rail splitters, where he became a tank commander. Because of his age, Dad wasn't allowed to participate in the war overseas, but he did spend the rest of his military career teaching people how to operate tanks safely and effectively. Now, these are all the things that my dad did to incorporate his passion into his career. But Dad did more than that. He brought his passion into his home life and brought his children to his passion as well. My dad owned a speeder car. It's one of those little cars on the railroad with just 2 people, and it goes up and down looking for things that need to be repaired. He owned one, and he traveled with it extensively before he passed away. I have a lot of great memories of working with my dad on cars in the garage. He had me changing oil at 8 and bleeding brakes by the time I was 12. And what he really taught me was that you can turn your passion into your life's work, and you never do work a day in your life. Thank you.